Bam. What's up, guys? No, it's been a while since I made a recording, but yeah, I got inspired because I got out of a kind of like a dead, kind of gray mode I had been in for I don't know, a couple days, or maybe even longer, a couple of weeks, maybe, just gradually slipping into it. That's the dangers of losing good habits and gaining bad ones, which I'll get into in a second. But basically, yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, like I always say. So this recording is about intentions and how there's a power to them, and how setting them you can make a positive influence in your own life, which of course is fucking awesome because you can make your life more of what you want it to be. So anyways, got inspired to make this video because I was, like I said, I was getting in like kind of a gray kind of mode, kind of feeling like dead and like kind of serious. Was going from boxing to yoga class, and on my way there I stopped to get like protein bar. Well, first get like a naked juice, but they didn't have like the protein naked juices, so I was like, fuck, I need a little bit of like protein and carbs. So I ended up getting a Cliff Bar, and when I was ordering it, I was just in a default serious mode. That's what's so, you gotta be so careful with like default modes of the world and whatnot. It's just like there's so much power in the automatic things that like literally life can take you over, and your own influence, and this is where intention comes in, is you're almost like you setting your own space in the world to where the influence just goes around you. Almost think about like a river is just like, bam, you've got the world and the environment with so much input, with a natural reaction, which you could call the default response. And overcoming that is learning how to steer away from the current, I guess you could say, or steer away from the natural ways to react and respond, which is part of our lowest self and whatnot, which could be somebody else could get into it. I'm not going to get into it right now. So anyways, I was inside the 7-Eleven, got my bar, and I guess I was like kind of serious, She could tell just my whole demeanor was, and the clerk was being kind of like jovial with me, and then I asked her, I was like, did I seem too serious? Like you had to be jovial with me because of that? And she was basically like, yeah, just like cute little like attitude person, And anyways, I was like, oh, okay, like thanks, that's cool. I was walking out, and she's like, yeah, like, see, it made you smile, right? And she was saying how like other times customers are just grumpy and they'll get her grumpy, but anyways, that wasn't the case with us. I was like, yeah, that's cool, thanks. Then I went into yoga, and fortunately, before you start the yoga, you're supposed to set an intention. And the intention I set was to be more jovial, to see the humor of things in life a little bit more. And from setting that intention in yoga, it literally carried on as it was supposed to into the rest of my week and whatnot. And yeah, and it was so interesting because I was like, wow, like I was literally ridiculously jovial the next day, the day after that, just like so jovial. And it's fucking so amazing and beautiful that like literally all it takes is an intention on your part. You set an intention, effect will happen. Of course, it's not always going to be exactly what you thought, or it's not always going to be like, oh, my intention is this and blah, and you expect it to be like perfect in every way. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. Not always, at least. Sometimes it'll be like exceed your expectations. But bottom line, you set an intention, you're going to make an effect in your direction that you want. So how large or small, it's still an effect, and that fucking matters, dude. And like, and when it comes to the scale of things, like, you've ever heard that quote, the difference between like, greatness and above mediocrity is just that little extra effort. And I was thinking about that today while I was like at work, and I didn't feel like working out after, And I was like, oh man, I totally don't feel like working out, but I think I'm going to anyways. And that quote really kind of made sense to me in that moment. It's like, yeah, I'm like above mediocrity and physical fitness area and whatnot, you know. But I wouldn't say I'm like complete greatness, you know. And I'm not necessarily striving for complete greatness in that. But if I were to, the difference between me having greatness is literally those little differences of, I don't feel like working out, but I'm going to anyways. And I actually did, and it was fucking super motivating. And I was like, you know, getting new gains and whatnot. It's fucking awesome. So don't always fucking trust your feelings. And that's the difference a lot of times between fucking above mediocrity or mediocrity and greatness or whatever. It's just like that little extra efforts when there's times that you might not want to. So anyways, made that intention, excuse me, I was burping. Made that intention, super jovial and whatnot. So anyways, I thought I should share something with you guys, something I've been doing for years, which has been really helpful to me. And I hope you can use it. And I actually got this from another YouTube video when I was like super depressed like a couple years ago. Well, I shouldn't say super, but compared to my normal like happy self, I was like below that. And I wanted to get out of it. And of course, like any successful person, you got to fucking take action. You can't just sit around and mope and like just expect, like do the same shit and expect to get happier. It's like, doesn't work like that. And it's actually the definition of insanity. Like, well, at least the common definition they say is doing the same thing, expecting a different result, you know? So anyways, I was looking for answers, found a YouTube video, and it's called like a 10 by 10. I think it's where you basically set 10 intentions and then 10 things you're grateful for. And if someone is like depressed, it might be hard for them to find something they're grateful for, but you can start it with like super small things and it can be like bigger things as well. So anyways, and the little twist I gave to it, because I think that our mind is so kind of scattered in today's society. All text messaging is always popping up, and I mean, just think about it. When you get onto your phone, your smartphone, you'll unlock it, and you have an intention to be like, oh, I'm just gonna like look up this thing on Amazon or something like that, or whatever. I'm gonna like remind myself to do this, you know, with my phone. But for some reason, like my thumb always finds the inbox button on my mail, which is like weird. Like all this shit, like there's so many unconscious triggered conditioned habits that we have, you know, as part of probably the default mode. You just gotta be careful. So yeah, I mean, the power of intention is so important to really live and have a successful life. So anyways, like I said, 10 by 10 intentions and 10 things you're grateful for. My twist to it is breathing on each set. So for one, as I started it, I want to be more jovial and see the humor in things. Like you just write it like this on a piece of paper. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then on the back side, you know, you write what you're grateful for. You know, they can be private or whatever. Yeah, sometimes I draw like little pictures to help have more of an effect on me. But yeah, and that breathing is actually a helpful process with that. So I'll just be like, I want to be more jovial. In my mind, I'm reading it in my head and see the humor in things more, you know, with like a fun little like smiley face, as you can see there. I don't know if you can see that on the first one. But anyways, so I'll do that as I'm like breathing in and exhaling, and then I go into the next one. Like I will ignore distractions and stick to my intention. Like deep breath, exhale, go to the next one. So anyways, the reason I incorporate a breath to it is because it helps you stay focused on it, because you're incorporating an actual physical activity with each mental imagination process or intention, you could say. And so that helps prevent your mind from straying, because it can be so easy to be like, oh, I want to be more jovial and see the humor in things. And you think about that, and then you're thinking, oh, that one time I was like, you know, jovial and humorous, you know, and then, which is good. That helps you imagine what you want to be more like. But unfortunately, it doesn't just stop there. The mind will be like, oh, and then this happened, and then that happened. And then you're reading the next one as your mind is like going through some other weird situation, how, you know, happen to be jovial, and then this happened, and then you realize you were late for something, and then that, and then, you know, it's just a mix of just a clusterfuck, because, you know, the mind just has so many associations with things that it can just get way off track. So anyways, read that, maybe think of one situation, or imagine yourself being more jovial or whatever. Take that breath, exhale, release that thought process, move on to the next one. So, and do the same thing with gratefulness. Anyways, I think it's pretty helpful. So the one way to find out, to see how it affects your life, by fucking doing it. It's super easy, and the effect of it is very interesting and pretty fucking awesome. So if you really want to find out what it does, just fucking do it. Really mean it. Set an intention. An intention, in a way, is like kind of what I was thinking recently on what confidence is. It's like how I would almost define confidence, and how I did before, is that confidence is knowing what to do and doing it. So like, think about it, like, all right, so you're at work, you know you're supposed to, I used to work in a restaurant, somebody used this analogy, you know you're supposed to, like, you know, freaking greet the table, and you also know in your own mind from experience that you should not be attached to the outcome of the table or the tip or whatever. You should just literally, like, enjoy the experience with those people. So you know those two things, and you got to prioritize those things. So whatever. So you got those two things, you know what to do. You do that, and then you fucking just act on it. Might be a kind of a weird example. There's other one. Here's one. Let's say this is more relevant to me in my life right now. Let's say right now, with the change of leadership, our, like, certain team we're in right now, like a remedial team for our next course, we're supposed to be cleaning up our common area. I know that's what we're supposed to be doing. I know it's beneficial for us to do that, because if we don't, then higher ups will get on our asses, and if that happens, then it'll just fuck everyone else over, you know. So I know that this is the case, that we need to, like, be more on top of it or cleaning it. So that's what I know, and I know because no one said anything yet, I have to say something, because I know what to do. Fucking, it's that simple. Like, I know it's right. Like, literally, I know this is the best thing to do. And then taking that action, when you do that, there's, like, confidence in it, because you know it's best. So if somebody could, you know, there would be no mindset in your mind of, like, oh, what if this person thinks I'm being bossy, or oh, what if this? It's like, no, you don't have that, because you know it's best for everyone. So that's maybe another example you could think of, how I'd maybe define confidence. So anyways, hope you can apply that to your life. The power of intention is very, very fucking beautiful and awesome, because you have only one life to live, probably, so might as well make the best of it. And the way you make the best of it is by intending it to be what you want it to be. So anyways, a lot of power in that. Have a good one. Only one way to find out. Fucking do it. Peace.